On tonight, Giannis Antetokounmpo is off to a historic start to his season. The Cavaliers, they just keep on winning. The Denver Nuggets, they are finding ways to win that are new every single game. Y'all, we got so much to get into, so much great NBA basketball on this NBA Emirates Cup night. Y'all, this is Swiper. This is Locked On NBA Game Night, and this is the place you want to be.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
What's going on? You're welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day. Real quick before you get started, do us a good solid. Give us a subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. We're on the way to building this community even bigger every day. If you want to support all of the great media folks who make this channel amazing, please subscribe, like, and share the video. If you're listening on audio, Apple iTunes or Spotify, give us a 5-star review. That way more and more people can listen to the great content being made at Locked On NBA Game Night. All right, let's get into it. I don't want to mess around a lot tonight, y'all, because we got to talk about a lot of games, and there was a lot of elite basketball played tonight. But the place that I want to start, oh boy, the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, there are a lot of people that might be following me over here like, Swiper, you didn't believe in the Milwaukee Bucks to start the year off. They're 6-3. They just beat the Bulls, who were 6-1. Do you feel differently about this team? Now, I'll say this, man. The Milwaukee Bucks, they've been cooking this year, and I love to see that Miles Turner and Giannis Antetokounmpo, that they found a real duo that works well together for both of them. I love the fact that you're getting Ryan Rollins playing very well this season. They're doing a lot of things well, man, but the centerpiece of it all, obviously, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. 37 minutes played, 41 points, 11 rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 16 of 32 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3 today, 8 of 11 from the free throw line, plus 16, and puts together an extremely dominant two-way performance today. And not only that, for the audience that doesn't know, shout out to Real Sports. Giannis is the fastest player ever to reach 250-plus points, 100-plus rebounds, and 50-plus assists in a season. Y'all, this is an incredible start to the season for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's played 8 games. He's averaging 33.4 points, 12.9 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, shooting 64% from the field. That's great. And he's shooting 53.8% from 3 on 1.6 attempts a game. And he's also getting to the line 10 times. Now, he's only hitting 63% of those, but he's off to a crazy start. And if you watch today's game, he was in full control. Now, he didn't even make shots at the level that we normally would expect Giannis Antetokounmpo to hit those shots. He got around the rim, missed a few bunnies. But the thing about Giannis, man, he's in such great control of his mechanics that even in situations that he might be disadvantaged, he is just so strong getting to the hoop and getting to his spot on the court that he just makes it almost impossible to stop him, at least stop him repeatedly. Now, that's going to be a task for everybody also over the course of this year, and I doubt anybody's going to be able to do it consistently, but the Bulls, they tried nonetheless. But today for the Bulls, man, shout out. Look, Josh Giddey, just 16 points, 7 rebounds, but he had 14 assists today. He was 6 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Josh just continues to resurgence year. Again, it wasn't the prettiest game from Josh. Wasn't the cleanest game that you've seen from Josh all year. But I just love the fact that he is playing with as much intensity as he is this year and much control as he is this season. And then you couple that with Vooch having a good season as well. And then tonight, Vooch gives you 16 points and 6 rebounds today. Trey Jones, they didn't get any Ayo Dosunmu today. Obviously, Kobe White is still out. You got 17 points from him. Matas Buzelis, who might be the most improved player by the end of the year, you get 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, and a block from Matzes. So the Chicago Bulls team, I don't know what the future has in store for them as the year kind of unwinds, but I'm very glad to see that they've been as competitive as they've been. I think that's going to be really important, obviously, as the season continues to go on for them. But shout out, man, the Milwaukee Bucks. They get a really good win. They continue to put themselves in good position in the NBA Emirates Cup. And so hopefully, we get a really good matchup out of the Western Conference versus the Bucks. That'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Giannis playing in a championship game in that situation again. Y'all, we're going to move on. We got the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Utah Jazz. Now, this was a very interesting game. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch this. This was the air hockey game of the week. And what do you mean by air hockey? They had a highlight yellow court. And, if this, just for a video game standpoint, I imagine it's really aesthetically pleasing, but watching it, especially through the screen, I couldn't imagine in person. It definitely felt like you were being fed highlighters through your eyes. But nonetheless, just a dominant win for the Minnesota Timberwolves, 137-97 for the Utah Jazz. Again, Anthony Edwards continues to make his bounce back after coming off the injury. 37 points for him, 12 of 21 from the field, 7 of 12 from the three-point line, 58%. He just continues to just be like an elite jump shooter from the three ball over the last year and some change now. He also shot 86% from the line, just an elite game for Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. Triple-double for Julius Randle. He was a plus 43 tonight. Goodness gracious. Jaden McDaniels, 22 points, 7 rebounds. And then Rudy Gobert, just 8 points, 9 rebounds, but typical Rudy Gobert. He was a plus 24 tonight. Dante DiVincenzo, just 3 points. He was also a plus 20 in the minutes and 21 minutes that he played tonight. Off the bench, Joe Ingles, Leonard Miller, Naj Reid played, Mike Conley, Jalen Clark. Not a whole lot of scoring. Bones Highland had 12, but again, they had this in full control. Obviously, for the Utah Jazz, if you are not kept up, they lost Walker Kessler for the whole year. So Lauri Markkanen, just 12 points tonight. Keontae George, 18 points tonight. Isaiah Collier, 10 points. So we'll see what continues to happen with this Utah Jazz team. We'll see how they continue to flow throughout the year. But shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. That's a good win for them. They continue to solidify themselves. By the way, y'all, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. So make sure you tap in with them right now. New customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into the Atlanta Hawks game right now. And the Hawks, interesting game, obviously. There's no Trae Young in this game in particular. The Toronto Raptors, they're playing really well right now. They were not the favorite coming into this game. It was actually a little surprising kind of seeing where some of the spread lines were for this matchup. But they're able to get the win. The Toronto Raptors get the win, 109-97. The Toronto Raptors moved to 5-4. The Hawks, they fall to 4-5. And with that, let's get a little bit of messaging from Locked On Hawks for more.
Hello, friends. My name is Brad Rowland. The host of the Locked On Hawks podcast, and the Hawks had a disappointing loss in the NBA Cup on Friday evening. Atlanta led by 8 points with less than 10 minutes to go, and then from there, basically absolutely nothing went right for Atlanta. The offense fell completely flat, scored 20 points in the fourth quarter. It was a reminder, at least in this particular night, that the Hawks offensively could struggle without Trae Young. That was certainly on display in this game. And really, even when they were winning, they were not playing well offensively. For the most part, though, they defended at a high level. But in the fourth quarter, they stopped scoring, and defensively, things slipped and things flipped in the other direction. It was certainly an ugly fourth quarter. Not a disastrous loss. The Raptors are a competitive team. They did win here earlier this season in the season opener. But at the end of the day, the Hawks are now in trouble when it comes to the NBA Cup, have to win out probably to have a chance to advance. And they're now 4-5 on the young season. We'll get into all of what transpired, the analysis, and more on Locked On Hawks.
So I have a lot of thoughts about the Hawks. Today wasn't a pretty game, not a great close for them, but I do like the roster. I really do. I think Jalen Johnson is really good. 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists for Jalen. He's obviously very young. So is Ricochet. Obviously, Nikhil had 20 points today as well. But again, Dyson Daniels, they got Kristaps Porzingis. I just think it's going to take them some time. But again, I like the Raptors as well. Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Emmanuel Quickley. Brandon Ingram was a plus 17 today, 20 points for him. You get 19 from RJ Barrett, 14 from Scotty Barnes, and you get 12 from Jakob and 18 for Emmanuel Quickly. And then Mamu off the bench, 12 points, and Grady Dick with 11. So just an all-around great performance for the Toronto Raptors in this win. We got a lot more basketball to get into, you all. A lot more great games happen tonight, and we'll be back for more here on Locked On NBA Game Night. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Now, whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the bag drop. Now, every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. Now, we're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. Now, I love that it's not just food, because you can get everything from snacks, drinks, headphones, ice, and even socks, all delivered with DoorDash. DoorDash has you covered for late-night highlights, last-minute watch parties, and double OT fuel-ups. I love DoorDash, yo. I use DoorDash all of the time. So I'm absolutely going to be tapping into this. So next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass. Plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off up to $10 the day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. It ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. We'll be back for more Locked On NBA Game Night next. We are back for segment 2 of Locked On NBA Game Night. This is your host, Swiper. This is your team every day, y'all. I got to talk about the San Antonio Spurs game. My goodness. This was a game. The Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs gave us something that was a special performance, and I think this is a nice preview of things to come. Now, we originally thought we were going to get 3 really good teams out of Texas. It turns out we're just going to get 2 this year, more than likely, given all the injuries that Dallas is facing. But want to talk about a game, and especially given the fact that Victor Wembanyama didn't have a great first half at all. And then in the second half, just turns up the dial and is able to help put the Spurs on his back. And if you just watch, again, this is just a commonplace thing at this point, the defense that Victor Wembanyama plays when teams are looking to score in the paint, man, what he does to deter them on a possession-by-possession basis is truly special. He had 18 points in the second half. Julian Champagnie had 19 points in the second half. Harrison Barnes had 13 points in the second half. Again, this is a game where a lot of folks earlier today thought they were going to have a chance to see De'Aaron Fox make his debut. That did not end up happening. But in this game, man, just a really, really good performance from the San Antonio Spurs. I love how Devin Vassell is continuing to play with this roster. Stephon Castle, again, not the most efficient scoring game, but again, early in the year, when you have a lot of young players like this, and then you're trying to figure out the roster. They just lost Dylan Harper. Everything for them is about process and figuring out how to play together. And I think Devin Vassell, the Florida State grad, 4 of 10 from 3 today, he's going to be so important, and so is Julian, to making sure you're spacing the floor out around Victor Wembanyama. That way teams can't just trap and double team to the degree that they have, because something that's changed is a lot of teams now, after that crazy start that he had, Victor Wembanyama, they're now putting wings on him, like bigger, stronger, athletic wings, trying to muscle him out of his spot. But then they're also sending help coverages toward him, either from the weak side in the post area or from over the top when he's kind of in that high nail area. And so he's growing as a passer and as a playmaker, but he's still so early in his career because, again, he's only 21 years old, that I think the court mapping and the processing is not all the way there yet. But even with that, you're still getting 22, 8, 4, and only 2 blocks today, but you're getting elite defensive play from him. So really good win by the Spurs. On the other side, Kevin Durant gets 24 points. He was 8 of 18 from the field, 44%. Not the best shooting game for Kevin Durant. Really been a struggle bus the last couple of games. He was only 1 of 2 from three-point line as well. Alperen Şengün had 25 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 10 of 22 from the field, just 1 of 6 from 3. But I love that he's hitting the three-point shots up because especially on this team, they need him to space the floor out. He has a big job to do with that. Amen Thompson, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, just 4 of 12 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. And again, his development as an outside jump shooter is going to be really important for what's going to happen with the Houston Rockets as the year continues to roll on. But again, really good win for the Spurs. They're continuing to develop some momentum, I think, to carry them through the rest of the year. And we'll see, man, because maybe this is going to be a special season. Maybe they might be a top 6 seed, unlike I think what a lot of people were projecting for them this season. All right, y'all. Well, we also had a game with Orlando and the Boston Celtics tonight. And this game, competitive, had a lot of different things that happened, but let's actually hear what the people that cover the teams have to say. So first, we're going to go to Locked On Magic for more.
This is Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic, as the Orlando Magic get a much-needed 123-110 victory over the Boston Celtics, starting off NBA Cup play at 1-0. But the most important thing from this game is that the Magic showed some mental toughness and mental fortitude to get this win. After going up by as much as 16 and looking really great in the first quarter, they look like they've looked for most of the season, kind of scuttling on offense, not really having much rhythm, turning the ball over a ton. But the Magic, after giving away the lead in the fourth quarter, answered back. I believe it was a 14-4 run, gave them the lead. They were able to extend that lead out and enjoy that point differential here for the NBA Cup. But it was everyone getting involved. It was the ball moving. It was the defense leading the way. And it was the Magic playing Magic basketball for the first time in a long time against a quality opponent, which Boston Celtics are. They got a quality win with quality performances. Franz Wagner with 27, 6 and 6. Paolo Banchero had his hands all over the game with assists, with rebounds, not necessarily with scoring, which I think is very good. And Desmond Bane had a breakout game with 2 3-pointers, 20 points, 7 assists as well for him. This is Magic basketball. This is the way the Magic need to play. They did it once. Now they got to do it again against the Celtics as well on Sunday.
Yo, that's really good insight, y'all. I'm rooting for the Magic. You know, I want success for them. I really like Paolo and Franz, Jalen Suggs, Tristan Da Silva, and Anthony Black, I think, has a really promising future for this team as well. So I'm rooting for them to put it together. But on the other side, y'all, let's hear John Corrales. I'm sure he has a lot of thoughts about how this game went tonight.
It looked like the Celtics had the momentum, but a terrible turnover turned everything on its head. I'm John Corrales of the Locked On Celtics podcast. Josh Minot, with about 6 minutes to go, had the ball and inexplicably threw it back to Jaylen Brown into the basket where it was stolen. And then the Magic went on a run to go from down 1 to up 11 and back in total control of this game. This was a hard-fought game from the Celtics, but they could really never just put enough together to take control of this game. The Magic shot incredibly well. 17 makes is not very typical of these Magic, who average about 10. But beyond that, the Celtics fouled way too much. They put the Magic in the bonus early in the fourth quarter, and that just does not allow you to respond to the Magic physicality very well. The Celtics turned it over 14 times for 22 Magic points, which is not something the Celtics typically do, so they didn't handle that Magic defense and physicality very well anyway. And if the Celtics aren't going to at least match, but win the three-point battle, they only made 13 of 37, they're going to have a hard time anyway. Jaylen Brown was great. Anthony Simons woke up in the fourth quarter, but the Celtics need a lot of things to go right to win these games, and they didn't. Much more coming up on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yeah, again, shout out to Jaylen Brown, because in light of Jason Tatum not being available for maybe all of this season, for at least most of this season, he has truly stepped into that role really well. 32 for him tonight, 28 shots that he put up, but again, efficient, 54% from the field. That's interesting. You know, Josh Minot, you know, he's been really good this year, and I'm actually excited that he continues to step into the starting role and to see how he develops alongside of Derek White and Jaylen Brown in particular. But Peyton Pritchard also had 27 points tonight. He was 5 of 8 from 3. And then if you look at Derek White, he has 16 points, 10 assists. not the season that I was projecting for Derek White, but obviously, everybody's kind of learning a new role with its roster. So curious to see how they can continue to develop. And then also with Kata, tonight he had 5 points, had 8 rebounds as well. Anthony Simons, 11 points off the bench. He's actually been really good off the bench for them. Maybe a sneaky 6 man of the year candidate. And then also Luka Garza, 13 minutes played, just 2 points. So unfortunately, they weren't able to get the win. But I'm excited to see them continue to have those matchups, the Celtics and Magic. Those are always going to be good games. Both have different varying styles, but both are highly competitive teams that play a lot of really good basketball, y'all. We got more basketball to get to on the other side here, man. There's some really big games that we have not gotten to yet. We're going to talk about all that and more here at Locked On NBA Game Night. The NBA is back. And there's no better place to get on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of a game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth-quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, NBA, or both, there's no better time to jump in on the action. Now, if you haven't tried it yet, PrizePicks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere PrizePicks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Now, I love using PrizePicks, man. PrizePicks is a lot of fun. They have different options that you have that you can utilize. If you really believe a player is going to jump through expectations, they give you the opportunity to do that. If you want to go a little bit lighter on the side on the more or less, they give you the opportunity to do that as well. It's a lot of fun. I love picking my favorite players. Like you go after Patrick Mahomes, or you look at Steph Curry or Nikola Jokic, or you want to look at Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love to see how the predictions play out. They have a new stacks feature that's a game changer. Now you can pick more on Steph's points, threes, and assists all in the same lineup. Plus, if one of your player leaves early with an injury, the injury reboot actually saves your lineup from a loss. So that is huge. So download the PrizePick app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. We'll be back for the final segment here at Locked On NBA Game Night. And we are back to segment 3 of Locked On NBA Game Night. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with us today. We really appreciate it, y'all. We got more games to get into and more games to cover, y'all. So let's just go ahead and get into the Denver Nuggets versus the Golden State Warriors, y'all. This was a masterclass and a blowout. And if you're not familiar, I cover the Denver Nuggets through Locked On NBA. This team has been on quite the journey to start the year off. Nikola Jokic today just plays 3 quarters, but 26 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, and a block in 3 quarters. He was 2 of 3 from 3. He is now shooting 42+% from 3 since game 1 this year. Aaron Gordon had a crazy crossover, hard dribble dunk in this game as well. Jamal Murray, 23 points, had 8 assists today. They balled. The Golden State Warriors, they were without Steph Curry and Al Horford today, and Jimmy Butler had 16 points in his stead. Not the greatest Jimmy Butler game, but it was efficient. Jonathan Kuminga just 6 points. Draymond Green, 5 threes in this game, and for a minute it felt like he was going to single-handedly get them back in the game, but then the momentum kind of capsized, and then off the bench, Quentin Post had 14, Pat Spencer had 10. Fun stat for you all. The Denver Nuggets have had a 12-point or more lead in every game they played this year. 12-point or more lead than every game they played this year. Now, what does that mean? I'm not sure. I think it's going to mean something down the road that maybe we were witnessing a sleeping giant before they actually went on their real run. But I'm excited to continue to see how both the Warriors and the Nuggets continue to figure out this deep Western Conference. Also, y'all, the OKC Thunder obliterated the Sacramento Kings. And this is the OKC Thunder yet again, missing J-Dub. Chet Holmgren did play in this game, just 21 minutes. And then on top of that, you got a little bit of Alex Caruso for 22 minutes today. But look at, man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 30 points in 29 minutes. He was 60% from the field, 33% from three. He was a plus 10 today, but Isaiah Hartenstein had a career night. 33 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks for Isaiah Hartenstein. He was 14 of 17 from the field. Utterly dominant performance. And then on the other end, Russell Westbrook had 24 points, had 9 assists and 6 rebounds, 53% from the field, 55% from three. And then he was the best player on the floor today for the Sacramento Kings. And then DeMar DeRozan, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. But the Thunder moved to 9-1. The Sacramento Kings, they fall to 3-6. Just not a great situation for them. But hopefully they'll continue to round out right when they get fully healthy, and they'll be able to make a little bit of a move up the Western Conference. But, y'all, even more to get to. So let's get into the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Washington Wizards, because this was a 148-114 victory. And we actually have some words from the folks that cover these teams here. Locked On Wizards.
Night where the Wizards don't have their best 2 perimeter defenders in Keyshawn George and Bilal Coulibaly. They end up losing to the Cavs 148-114. It was definitely a struggle tonight offensively and defensively for the Wiz, although there were some bright spots. Trey Johnson got his first career start with Chris Middleton being out of the lineup. He ended up with 18 points. Alex Sarr finished with 20 points and 4 blocks. The second-year kid who's having a really good year so far. Justin Champagnie with 11 rebounds at 6'5". You really love to see it for these Wiz kids. And vintage CJ McCollum tonight with 25 points. I think he had like 17 going into the half. I'm leaving Capital One Arena right now. And I know it's hard to, be critical about this Wizards team, 7 straight losses in a row. But you always have to remember it's about trusting the process. And this team is very young. So nights like this, it's going to be apparent, especially when you're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are contending in the Eastern Conference. So 1-7, Dallas tomorrow. Head to the Wiz.
On the other side, let's get some words, too, from Danny Cunningham for Locked On Cavaliers.
It turns out having Darius Garland back makes the Cavs offense elite once again. After the Cavs had their best offensive performance of the season in his season debut on Wednesday, it got even better on Friday in a 148-114 win over the Washington Wizards. Yes, the Wizards aren't a very good basketball team, but the Cavs looked fantastic offensively throughout the night in this one. DeAndre Hunter was back as well after he missed Wednesday's game with an illness. That meant the ideal starting 5 for the Cavs of Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen played together for the first time this year. They played 14 minutes together, had a net rating of plus 54.6. I think that's pretty good. Again, it's the Wizards. We'll have to wait and see, but there are some signs that we have seen in the past 2 games with Darius Garland back on the floor for the Cavs that this team, they're going to be pretty good again this year.
Yeah, look, as a big Darius Garland fan, I'm excited. I'm glad he's back healthy with this roster. Hope he continues to cook. But yeah, Darius Garland, 20 points, 9 assists today, just getting back into rhythm. Donovan Mitchell, 24 points today. Evan Mobley, 18 and 10. Jared Allen, 16 and 14 today. Just a really good team and a really deep team. So hopefully they'll figure that bench out. I know that's been a struggle this year. Shout out to CJ McCollum, 25. By the way, y'all, Alex Sarr, 20 points. There was a turnaround fadeaway that he had today right on like that little right mid-post area, high mid-post area that was just elite. Definitely tap into Washington Wizards games as you can, because I think you'll actually have a lot more fun at those games than you might realize initially. Get through the rest of these games on the slate. The Detroit Pistons, they beat the Brooklyn Nets 125-107 in this game. Cade Cunningham, 34 points and 10 assists, just continues to have a crazy season. He was 13 of 18 from the field as well. Just a dominant game from him. Asar Thompson, 14 points tonight as well. Jalen Duren, 30 points and 11 rebounds for Jalen. Just unbelievable. On the other end, Michael Porter Jr. had 28 points, ultimate green light, 5 rebounds and 2 assists. He was 8 of 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. Really good performance. Noah Clowney had 19. Nick Claxton had 17 as well. The Detroit Pistons, they get another win. Memphis Grizzlies versus the Dallas Mavericks. The Memphis Grizzlies beat the Dallas Mavericks 118-104. Unfortunately, in this game, man, the Mavs, just not a lot of firepower. Cooper Flag, just 12 points. But then on the other end, Jaren Jackson Jr. was 17. Ja Morant, 21 points and 13 assists. Love to see the bounce back, just 7 of 20 from the field. But love to see the playmaking production from him. Contavious Caldwell-Pope was 2 of 3 from 3 at 12 points. Jock Landale, 11 points. Cedric Coward off the bench, 21 points, 7 rebounds, or 9 rebounds, and 4 assists in this game. Just unbelievable for the Rook. Santi Aldama also had 16 in this game. Let's hope the Memphis Grizzlies continue to move forward and rise up, man, because they still have a lot of talent on that roster. They can do a lot of special things. And then also, finally, the Miami Heat beat the Charlotte Hornets 126-108 in this game. Norman Powell had 25. Phil Larson had 19. Andrew Wiggins had 22 points as well. Jaime Hawkins Jr., 18 points. On the other side, Trey Mann, 20. Con Knuppel had 30 points and 8 rebounds in this game as well. And that is going to do it for our NBA slate. Go through this one more time. Make sure we got all the games lodged in here for you today. By the way, on the Miami Heat side, a shout out to Coach Bo. His house was burned down in a fire, at least severely damaged in the fire. So obviously that is affecting him and his family. So we're definitely thinking about him and praying for him in this moment. But make sure y'all taking care of yourself. This is Swiper. This is Locked On NBA Game Night. You know what time it is. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. Solo one-man show. But I love y'all. Glad to be here. See you on the other side.